Hey, what's going on, guys? Nick from Soho Motorsports, and we got Mark's 2007 Nissan 350Z. We converted this vehicle from the still and supercharger setup to the V1 air-to-air setup, threw a set of injectors in there, upgraded the fuel system, and it's making over 500 wheel. Let's talk about it. All right, guys, this is the 2007 Nissan 350Z. It does have the HR motor in it, and it is a manual. So this vehicle is going to make great power. It's supercharged. Let's talk about exactly what we did with this setup. It came into us having the still and supercharger setup, the water to air setup. So a few things that you'll notice on that particular setup. Number one is that the coupler that comes off of the supercharger, when you start going over 7 or 8 PSI, will start to collapse and cause issues when you're tuning the vehicle. So with the V1 air-to-air setup, you get rid of that issue. It also converts it from a water to air to an air to air, which is a lot more efficient. Based on our research, we've seen over 100 wheel increase on the same exact setup when going from the still and water to air to the Soho air to air setup. So as you can see on this setup, he decided to go with the turbo guard setup. We do offer a filter setup on this vehicle as well too. If you're looking for something for your vehicle that does not have the turbo guard and want the filter setup, the V1 and the V2 air to air setup do come with a filter. So let's talk about exactly what other upgrades we did when going from the still and water to air to the Soho V1 or V2 air to air. So you will have to increase the injectors. The still and kit comes with 600cc injectors, 255 fuel pump. When going to the air to air, we always recommend going with the 1050s cc injectors from Injector Dynamics, as well as a 340 liter per hour fuel pump, just to have enough volume for the amount of boost that you are going to be running on this particular setup. If you're wanting to go E85, you can do the 1300cc injectors, fuel return system. On this particular setup, Mark wanted to go with the radium surge tank. Now, what does the surge tank do? It is installed on the driver's side setup on this vehicle, and what it does is it prevents any starvation. You guys may have noticed if you're tracking any of these 350Zs or even 370Zs, once they get below 3/4 of a tank, you go to make a turn, it starves it. And so the last thing you want to do is have any kind of fuel starvation, especially when you're boosted. So radium surge tank is installed in this vehicle. The passenger side will feed into the driver's side, and obviously you'll have fuel at all times. Even when you run it below half of a tank, we always say run it at half of a tank when you are running a bigger fuel pump, just so that way the fuel pump can be submerged in fuel. That is what the radium surge tank will do on this particular setup. So the vehicle already had an upgraded clutch on this vehicle, so he was good to go in regards to that aspect. High flow cats, and it's got the NVIDIA exhaust. So this vehicle was previously tuned on UpRev. We converted this over to Ecutek. A lot of things that we've seen that do get resolved when converting over to Ecutek is the more common annoying issue that you see with the UpRev, where the idle goes. Ecutek resolves that, so we converted over to Ecutek. Obviously, we're able to make a little bit more power with the Ecutek software, and the drivability is night and day compared to an UpRev vehicle when it is tuned. So the most important question, how much power did this vehicle put down? So we did 2 maps, and keep in mind, this is still on pump 93. So on his first map, with a little bit less timing, it put down 486 and 381 at a little over 11 PSI. That's going to be great power, especially for a little car like this, 3,500 pound. It is a convertible, so he can drop the top and he can throw up the piece on, and he'll be out whenever he races another car. Now, his more aggressive map, which is a little bit more timing, it put down 520 wheel and 375 foot-pounds of torque at a little over 11.5 PSI. So great power. This vehicle is going to be an absolute fun car to drive. The other thing that this vehicle had when it first came in, it had the 409 rear diff. So 409 and boost, you're going to be spending all the time with that. So he converted over to 3.5 rear diff, and obviously allowed it to be able to put the power down and not have to spin through every single gear when adding the additional force induction. So let's go for a ride with Justin and see exactly how this car feels. It's going to be fun. I love 350s, especially when you throw a boost to them, especially when it's an HR. So let's see. All right, so we're in Mark's 2007 350Z. Justin wasn't able to go for a ride. He was busy with another vehicle, so I got Poppy over here reading. So we're gonna take this thing for a spin. 500 wheel HR. He had an HR actually.
Yeah, with the Soho kit.
With the Soho kit, but his was the turbo kit.
Single turbo.
So the single turbo kit. So this is the supercharger setup on here, the V1, 500 wheel pump gas. I did not mention in the first video or earlier when I was talking about this thing did have gallery gases done. They were destroyed at 84,000 miles. So just because it has low miles doesn't necessarily mean that the gallery gases are good. So if you're going boost, do oil pressure test, check the gallery gases, make sure they're good, because that is typically the main reason why these things fail. They'll lose oil pressure, and obviously once you lose oil pressure, you know what happens from there. So this is a convertible too.
Yeah.
That's why it's a little bit louder. Video exhaust. So this is gonna be a fun little car. We're gonna wait till we go around this roundabout, and then we'll do a hit here on it. And then also Aiden will get some flyby videos as well too, so you guys can hear how it sounds from the outside. On the dyno, when you guys were inside the office, it sounded crazy.
Yeah, this car sounded insane. From the office, we could hear it on the dyno room.
Yeah.
It's hard to argue with a high revving HR with the supercharger kit. So I'm sure you guys have seen my video of the podcast where I always talk about the HR. HR is my personal favorite engine. And even though I had a turbo kit on mine, the supercharger hits the spot for me. So pretty cool car so far.
Yep. So yep,
All
we
right.
can do here. Yep. So here we go. We'll hit it here. See what we got.
All right.
This thing rips, man. You saw traction trying to kick in too.
Traction's
so.
like, you guys sure you want to do this? It is a little chilly out here today, so the tires, they're catching up.
Yeah. So luckily he did, like I said earlier, he went from the 408 to the 3.5. So that definitely is going to help with him with traction. Because if he had a 408, this thing would just be spin city, man.
And we all know spinning ain't winning, so.
That's right. But it's linear, like I was saying.
Yes.
So the Ecutek makes these things, don't get me wrong, up rev, they drive great. But Ecutek just has that little, like, that extra, right?
So the drivability on Ecutek is superior to uprev, just like what we're doing right now as far as like cruising. The light on and off throttle like this, it's almost stock like, which is what you want. You know, you want a car that's going to perform awesome at wide open throttle, which uprev did that. But you want a car that's going to cruise this way as well.
100%.
Are we doing the full?
We'll do the full and then we'll come back. Yep. So yeah, man, this is definitely a fun little build. He'll definitely enjoy this. I mean, based off of what he had before and what we've noticed on these things with the air to water, usually you'll see around like 380 wheel. So I mean, he picked up over 120 wheel, and he's gone to Ecutek. So this thing's gonna feel like a brand new car. And he'll get to enjoy it. He'll put the top down when it's nice, and just basically hand out Gapperoni pizzas, right?
Gapperoni pizzas. Yeah, you see a convertible 350Z, you never expect that it's going to move this way.
100%. So we'll go over the bridge, and then we'll do another hit here. Aiden should be waiting for us at that time there. You guys will be able to hear some flyby videos as well. So here we go.
Second gear hit.
Second gear. Yeah, this thing is, he's going to have a blast with this thing, man. So, Mark, man, we appreciate you trusting us with your vehicle with this build. If you guys could hit the subscribe button below, and we'll catch you on the next one.